Today we'll be going through and reviewing MX Linux 19. We'll first explore its contents and everything that it has to offer with its default desktop environment, and then I'll go ahead and give it some ratings. I've started going through the desktop here. and the default background looks like you're looking through some grass here. It really has a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids vibe to it. As you can see, it's almost like you're an ant looking through some grass. There's a few key concepts here on the desktop. You have a taskbar that's pinned to the left side of the screen, a widget to the far right that has the time date information as well as the current usage of memory, CPU, and storage space resources. And then on the background, you can of course highlight with this XFCE default desktop environment. And then on the left of the desktop, it has frequently asked questions and a manual given to you right out the gate. So you can use these if you're a brand new user and you want to explore MX Linux a little bit yourself. So let's go ahead and look through some of MX Linux components here and get a feel for what's included with the operating system. Also, if you're new and stopping by to watch a review today, please take a moment to subscribe below and hit the notification bell for more reviews. So if I right click on the desktop, I get a few options here, really just shortcuts. Two options. So I can create folders, create documentation, as well as open a new window up and create launchers, as well as save URL links. From here I can also get to the desktop settings, in which I'll go to first. I just want to explore a little bit of what other backgrounds they have to offer. Since I'm not a huge fan of the default desktop background, let's see here, quite a few nature things going on. Let's go ahead and select these cactuses here. That one's kind of cool, but I'm going to go with this lighthouse in the background. As you can tell, the desktop is really uncluttered. I like the fact that you can actually store stuff on the desktop itself. Some distributions don't offer the option to actually create documents and files onto the desktop and move them around as you see fit. I do like having this because I like looking at the things that I'm currently working on right off the bat as soon as I log into my operating system. So I think that's definitely a plus for MX Linux. So if we go through the taskbar here, we have a logout feature, which it isn't only for logout. If you click it, you can also restart the computer, shut it down, suspend it, as well as switch users. And then you have the time here in the small rectangle in the corner. I don't know that you need the time in both places on the right and on the left here, but that's fine. It's pretty small, so you get to see the widget on the right, which is a lot bigger. If we go down towards the bottom of the task, we see that their default web browser is Firefox, and then we have the option to deploy a file manager. And inside the file manager, we're just going to take a look real quick at what that looks like. Very cool colors here. There's grays and light blues in here. And as you can tell, as soon as you open up the file manager, you get access to the home directory of the current user, which is SavvyNick. And you have the basic directories, desktop documents, downloads, and so forth. As well as on the left side, you can browse your network and hook up any network connections that you have. If you want to share files with different computers, let's say even a Windows computer, Samba server can come installed standard by selecting an option during the install, which if you need help installing, you can go ahead and check out my channel, and I've just released an MX Linux 19 install tutorial as well. And if we use the top here, we have some options, and we can do things such as create new tabs, which is great if you're working on multiple places at one time. You can also go ahead and execute commands, create symbolic links, and then on the edit, you can select files, invert your selection, do custom actions, and access your preferences. On the view, we can zoom in and out. So let's see how far we can zoom in here. This is always nice to know. Fairly large here. So some distributions don't let you zoom in quite this much. I really do enjoy the fact that they do let you zoom in this much because sometimes it's hard to see things on the screen. So you also have different types of lists that you can view. So you got the compact list, You have the detailed list where it gives you a little more detail on the right hand side, and just to view the icons as they come standard. You can also use the Go option as a shortcut to get around the file system as well. Help, if you need any help with the file manager, is always available. And now that we've looked around the file manager, let's go ahead and exit out. I think we've looked at it enough. We'll exit out and let's look at some of the other components that come standard on the taskbar. We have the volume, which you can turn up and down, currently set to 50%. You have a software updater, as well as where you can download more software if you want. You can unmount a disk if you have one in. It gives you your battery life, the current connected network connection, and this can be wired or wireless. And then you actually have this little deal here which switches workspaces. As you can see, and when I switch over to workspace 2, the time date widget goes away. And if I switch back to workspace 1, we get this time date widget back here on the right. Now let's go ahead and explore the start menu. Here at the bottom left, you can start the start menu by clicking their icon for MX Linux, and then you have some options in here as well. You're able to actually change the size of this menu in order to suffice for whatever you like. So you can go as big as the whole entire screen or very small and compact. If you're used to Windows, you might want just one side of the screen filled up with the rest of it available for you to use. I just like to keep it fairly compact. I don't really need it to take up a bunch of space, but you can also search for files in here. So let's say I'm looking for a terminal. I can type in terminal and it'll bring up anything related to the terminal. This makes it really easy to find files, shortcuts, and programs that you want to launch. On the top here, we have some options like the settings to lock the screen, switch users, and log out, which just takes you to the restart, shutdown commands. Then on the right side, this is a little different. You have your subcategories on the right, and then everything that's in those subcategories to your left in here. So if we go through, you have some of your favorites that these are actually deployed by MX Linux straight out of the install, so these aren't actually my favorites, but it leaves a place for you to go ahead and save your favorites too. Recently used, if you want to go to things that you've recently used in the past, you can go ahead and use this option. And then it has all the normal subcategories, so you have all, if you want to view all your applications, packages, and anything that comes pre-installed on the computer. Then you have your accessories with simple things such as calculators and notes. Development comes with a lightweight IDE that's actually really nice to use called Genie. You should give it a try if you do any kind of software development. It also comes with a few games, as well as the multimedia. Comes with VLC Media Player right out the bat, which is a very nice media player that supports an enormous amount of different types of media. Then you have your system tools here, so they call it MX Tools. Your Office is the standard LibreOffice suite, so if you're used to using that, very similar to what you have with Microsoft Office. And then you have settings for the system and more system programs down here, such as your Disk Manager, HTOP, and a few other things that come standard. As you can see, I have Samba installed on here. So let's go ahead and open up the XFCE terminal just to kind of look at how their terminal looks. So with their terminal, you have this very dark background that is somewhat transparent. I'm not a huge fan of transparent backgrounds, but this one is fairly dark, so I don't think it will get in the way of seeing whatever's behind and it meshing with the text that you have in terminal. As you can see, the user is highlighted in this pink fuchsia color, and then you have this light blue color for the host name. And I wonder what happens if we go ahead and log in as root. So give me a moment here. So now the root user and the host name have switched to a brighter red, as well as it tells you what the current directory that you're in. So we are in home savvy Nick from the root directory. And as we type in commands, you can see that the commands show up in white, so it's very easy to see on this dark background. I do enjoy their layout. Everything seems simple, as well as there's not a bunch of colors being used and it's not all over the place. If you right click on the top, you do get a few options here. I don't know of an easy way to create multiple tabs. I assume you can. I'm probably just missing it here. We won't look for it for too long here. One thing that you should notice is as you deploy different applications and they're running, you have the option here to put them or minimize them into the dock, as well as open them back up. So you'll get a list of your applications as you're deploying them. So let's say we get the file manager going as well. The last one you opened will be at the top, so you can see file managers here. If I minimize it, it's all in this little corner here. Sometimes it's a little hard to see and notice. As you can see, they kind of changed the transparency of the icon here in the taskbar. MX Linux has been developed by the Anti-X and the former MEPIS Linux communities. It deploys this nice XFCE desktop as its default and is actually built off the Debian stable branch and considers itself a semi-rolling release. MX Linux also considers itself a middleweight distribution that has a lot to offer to everyday users and is well balanced, as you can see, for beginner users and intermediate alike between performance and user friendliness. It has become one of the most popular distributions out there for people making the switch over from Windows and or other platforms. It's really worked its way up the chain of distributions as one of the forerunners and continues to stay up there. I think this is because of their focus on user friendliness and the ease of transition from other distributions. And if we go back in the terminal, HTOP actually comes standard, so I'm going to run this real quick. And you can see here it's not running a bunch of memory. It's got about 518 megabytes out of the 8 gigs available. Swap space is not being used at all. The CPU usage is relatively low. You can see all the tasks being ran. HTOP is a great tool in order to control your processes if you want to look and actually be able to stop them from running, sort them, search for various processes. It's just a little easier to use HTOP over the top default because it kind of highlights some of the important things of the operating system and in my opinion is a little easier to read. So as we can tell, not a lot of resources being used here. We'll go ahead, exit out. You can select whether or not you want this to ask you again to close windows. I don't like being asked all the time about closing windows. When I'm ready to close them, I am ready to close them. So I'm going to close out and just set that box. And then another thing I wanted to explore real quick is just the basic settings that you have available to you. So if you right click and you hit the desktop settings as we were in before, you have the availability to change up menus, icons and their sizes, as well as what default icons you have. And we also switched up the background. You can change it to solid colors and even have a revolving order of backgrounds if you really enjoy that type of look and feel to your desktop environment. As you can see in the bottom here, change the background in however many minutes with a random order if you so choose to do so, and you can select multiple backgrounds. I noticed that almost all of these backgrounds come with the MX Linux logo at the bottom right. I think that it's really just unnecessary. We know this is MX Linux. We don't really need to be reminded. It just takes up a little more area, but good for them. They should be able to go ahead and put that on any wallpaper that they do provide. If we go to our settings up here in the start menu, we can see that we get options to change a lot more up about the system and the desktop. You have hardware configuration down here to actively manage your Bluetooth, your display, which is very important because out of the box you might not have the correct display settings. You can simply change them in here. That's what I had to do once I had it installed. You have your network settings here called Advanced Network Configuration, also in hardware. These are just important things. Of course, the print settings and power management if you want to allocate how the system manages power let's say you have a laptop, that's probably an important place to start and make sure that you are utilizing your battery properly. Some other basic things are the Samba server and the disk manager that you have available in system settings, and some other settings at the bottom. I know that they have the Adobe Flash Player standard. It's kind of deprecated, but it's there for older applications that use Flash. And then if we go to the top again, we have MX Tools, the desktop appearance, as well as editing the XFCE terminal. We'll close out of there and let's go ahead and give this Linux distribution some ratings here. So MX Linux is very popular and relatively new. It's really climbed in the ranks and stayed up there as far as distros go. So it gets a popularity rating of 10 out of 10. Its simple XFCE desktop environment makes it easy for users to transition over from well-known operating systems such as Windows, and this allows the learning curve to remain at a minimal since it has the same kind of concepts and layouts of the desktop as Windows does and some other platforms, of course. I'll go ahead and give it a user friendliness rating of 9 out of 10. MX Linux is a semi-rolling release and offers the latest stable updates from Debian, since that's the distribution they were built off of. It's non-cluttered and gives you most of the everyday essentials that you need for home computing. It also has high stability since it's based off Debian, as well as it considers itself a medium weight distribution, so I'll give it a performance rating of 8 out of 10. Since MX Linux is based off of Debian, one of the most known Linux distributions, and has a huge community, as well as following, it is constantly getting updated and is known to be one of the most stable distributions available. I'll go ahead and give MX Linux a 9 out of 10 on features. Finally, since it's based off of Debian's stable release and it really has risen to the top of the ranks in the past year, it focuses on giving the user a solid medium weight distribution with all the necessities. I think it's going to keep itself among the top of the ranks, especially since it's a relatively newer distribution. I'll give it a sustainability rating of 8 out of 10. That gives it an overall score of 44 out of 50. I hope you enjoyed this review and walkthrough of MX Linux. Let me know if you think the rating system is fair, and if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please post them in the comments section below. Also, make sure to subscribe for future videos and make sure to like the video. Thanks for watching.